Hello and welcome to Whitley Bay. This is a walk from Spanish City to St Mary's Lighthouse, the white building in front of Spanish City, so heading across there now to get to the start of the walk. Spanish City opened in 1910 as the Whitley Pleasure Gardens. It was a massive entertainment complex featuring a theatre and tea rooms and fairgrounds, and it had a massive white dome on the top of it, which you can't miss, which defined the resort skyline. There it is. Can't miss it. It was actually May the 14th, 1910, that the Spanish city opened. It was designed as a smaller version of Blackpool's Pleasure Beach, and it had its distinctive frontage and its massive dome. When it was built, the dome was actually the second largest in the country, only surpassed by St Paul's Cathedral in London, which is an interesting fact. The dome itself apparently is made of 5-inch thick concrete. It was designed by the architects Hackett and Burnstick. I bet not many people know that. I bet many people don't want to know that. So over the decades, it served as a concert hall, a restaurant, a tea room, a roof garden, a ballroom, which was added in 1920, and a permanent fun fair. Unfortunately, by the late 1990s, the building started to fall into a state of disrepair, and it closed to the public in the early 2000s. After years of being derelict, a major £10 million restoration was announced in 2011, and the building was successfully renovated and reopened to the public in July 2018. We now arrive at the Whitley Bay Cenotaph. So this is a 6.7 metre granite cenotaph. It was officially unveiled on the 15th of July 1922 by the Duke of Northumberland. It was built to honour local men who lost their lives in the First World War, and the names of the servicemen who died in the Second World War were added later. Whitley was first recorded around 1100 when King Henry I granted the land to Tynemouth Priory. It was largely an agricultural area with coal mining and limestone quarrying. In 1861 it was still a small coastal village of around 300 residents. This changed dramatically in 1882 with the opening of the North Tyne Loop Railway. Accessible by quick direct trains from Newcastle, the town's population boomed. Whitley Bay became a major holiday destination, especially famous for the Scots Week, where the Scottish factory workers flocked to the coast for the summer holidays. Now, Whitley Bay was originally called Whitley, but it had to change its name. It didn't have to, but the good people of Whitley decided to. And this was because it was suffering from a lot of misdirected mail and deliveries which were meant for the fishing port of Whitby in Yorkshire. Now, the final straw came in 1901 when the body of a man was mistakenly shipped to Whitby instead of Whitley, delaying his burial. So as I say, good people of Whitley Bay then voted on this and they changed its name in 1902. Obviously, this is the times before recorded post, but still sounds awfully far-fetched. I mean, yes, if you're in Whitby and you're receiving a dead body through the post, you might think, well, righty, I didn't order that, wasn't expecting that. I'm just imagining the postman turning up in Whitby with a large body-shaped parcel and, on the back of a truck. It's bonkers, but anyway, apparently that's what happened. Here we are, walking down the links now, past the memorial benches. So these benches are to serve as lasting tributes to loved ones, so they're often inscribed with personal messages, dates and poetry and fond memories of the individual's connection to the coast. Now you can see the white speck in the distance there, just off to the right on the horizon. That's St Mary's Lighthouse, and that is the destination. Now just ahead here is the Whitley Bay Links Skate Park, officially known as the Panama Skate Park. It's widely regarded as one of the best facilities of its kind in the northeast of England. It's a purpose-built concrete park which opened in 2008, and its design was the result of a consultation process with the local skateboarders and rollerbladers to ensure it met the needs of the community. It's open access and it's free to use. So the style of the park, apparently, it's transition based, making it very popular for those who enjoy bowl and ramp skating. And it also includes integrated street elements. So apparently, another thing there, apparently it's designed to be flowy, which I didn't know was a thing, flowy, meaning skaters can often navigate the entire park using the momentum of the ramps and bumps without the need to push off frequently. So there you go, that's a thing. I presume it wasn't built with all the graffiti on, but as we'll get closer, I think you can see the extent of it. So the surface of this is constructed from high quality smooth concrete, which is well maintained and highly rated by experienced skaters. So there you go. Everybody will be rushing down there now. Coming up on the left is the Panama Swimming Club, which is a long-standing institution on the Whitley Bay Promenade dedicated to North Sea swimming. Look at those fine specimens on the adverts there on the side. Must be members. So it's been a fixture of the town's coastal community since 1930. Now, the club takes its name apparently from a ship that was famously wrecked nearby in the 1930s. So the clubhouse itself dates back to the early 1950s. It's got a brick ground floor and a timber upper floor, which provides the member with a changing rooms and showers and a lounge area. It all sounds very nice. Now, when you go to the website for Panama Swimming Club. You can see photographs of all the members having a whale of a time. So there you go. Now on the right you'll see Whitley Bay's sea wall. So when we're discussing the sea wall in Whitley Bay, it's important to understand that the entire promenade area acts as a vital multi-tiered coastal defence system rather than a single standalone flood wall. So we'll have the sea wall at beach level. This is the core defence and it's made of concrete and it's located at beach level, as we say. Its primary purpose is to absorb the energy of waves, prevent coastal erosion and stop the sea from encroaching on the landward infrastructure. And then we'll have the lower promenade. So this tier acts as a structural buffer. By having a secondary level, the design helps dissipate wave energy before it can reach the upper promenade, the main road and the buildings beyond. In recent years, significant engineering projects have been undertaken to modernise these defences. This work's involved deep-level structural strengthening to ensure the wall could withstand modern weather patterns and storm surges for the coming decades. So on the right we're coming up to the little lifeguard hut located on the links. So Whitley Bay Beach is patrolled by the Royal National Lifeboat Institution lifeguards during the peak summer season. They are highly trained professionals responsible for water safety, emergency response and public education. So they constantly monitor the water for rip currents, changing tides and potential hazards, moving the safe swim zone as the tide shifts. And you'll see the cycle symbols on the ground here, and the sign on the bollard. Now, the cycling route along the coast of Whitley Bay is a major section of the National Cycle Network (NCN) Route 1, which stretches the entire length of the UK's east coast. So it's quite big. Here we are approaching Briardine. So it's a small, ecologically diverse valley carved out by the Briardine Burn as it flows towards the North Sea, and it acts as a quiet green refuge that apparently contrasts with the open, windswept coastline. And here we are at the Humped-back Bridge. Now what I should have done is took a close-up of the plaque on the bridge so we could all see what it actually said and when it opened, etc, etc. But never mind, next time. Now this is Whitley Bay mini golf and foot golf. So it features both a 9 and 18 hole course for pitch and putt and a dedicated foot golf course. So it's designed to be scenic and take full advantage of the coastal views. Now foot golf, if you're unfamiliar with it, is essentially golf played with a football where you kick the ball in the oversized cups on the green, combining the rules and strategy of golf with the skill of football. Good luck with that. Now this is the tee box for hole number 6. So if you have a look, you haven't got a clue which direction to kick it in. I'm presuming there'll be a map somewhere. Oh, it's actually hole number 5, but I don't think that solves the problem. Presume you don't just kick it into the sea. I did notice these signs all along the top of the cliffs. It indicated that there was stick men throwing themselves off. I think that's what it meant. That's St Mary's car park south on the left. It's normally absolutely chock-a-block on weekends and school holidays, but not many cars there today. And as we get round the corner next to Lighthouse, that's St Mary's Island car park north. Now we have some public toilets on the left there, and you can have it on good authority that they were spotless inside. St Mary's Lighthouse Island is only accessible via the concrete causeway at low tide. When the tide comes in, it makes it a true isolated island. Now, before the current concrete causeway was built in 1929, visitors had to reach the island using slippery stepping stones. The lighthouse itself was built in 1898. It used 645 blocks of stone and roughly 75,000 bricks. Now it stands on the site of an 11th century monastic chapel. The monks who lived there once maintained a lantern on the chapel tower to warn passing ships, long before the modern lighthouse was commissioned. The island was historically known as Bait Island. While often attributed to its use by fishermen, some historians believe that the name is a corruption of Bates Island, named after Thomas Bates, a 16th century surveyor for Queen Elizabeth who owned the land. St Mary's holds a special place in maritime history as the last Trinity House lighthouse in the UK to be lit by oil, which it used until its electrification in 1977. The lighthouse was a functional lighthouse for 86 years, from 1898 until it was decommissioned in 1984. The lighthouse's original first-order bivalve lens was removed during the electrification in 1977, and it spent years in a museum in Penzance in Cornwall before being returned home to the island in 2011. Visitors can climb the 137 steps to the top for a panoramic view of the northeast coast. I've done it myself. I got halfway up, but the problem is it gets tighter and tighter and steeper, and if you've got a bit of vertigo or you're a bit of frightened of heights, I wouldn't recommend it. Good news is though, if within the visitor centre they have a camera where you can watch a live video feed from the top, so you don't miss out. At this end of the causeway, a local glass worker named Michael Curry was executed for murder in the 18th century, and his body was displayed on a gibbet at what is now known as Curry Point. So this is the landward end of the causeway. We've got a lovely chap here, volunteer for the lighthouse, and just listen to the warm welcome we get.
Alright, are you on the door here?
Not much in the box. Have you been here before?
Oh, a while ago, yeah. I've just come for a walk along. It's the first time the tide hasn't been in. I thought I'll go and have a...
Well, it's never changed,
Yeah.
probably for 1,000 years, so I think
Aye,
you'll
aye.
need to find your way around.
There you go. Way high. Oh, well, a quick shifty.
You're No bother.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah. Get your on.
Mama catch.
Aye.
Mama catch nothing.
Got it.
Stand there,
Yeah.
I'll take a few.
Cheers.
Just up against the wall like that.
Aye.
Sausages. There you are. There's half a dozen. You pick one out of that.
Thank you.
Right.
Now at this point I realised that access was through the shop, and if you want to go to the top, I think it's about £6 or £7, but I may be wrong. You'll need to check that out. But I decided not to go up. Now, the lighthouse provides an excellent vantage point for bird watching, and you can frequently spot common eiders, fulmars, gannets, and various species of auks. That's AUKS, not the type you get in Lord of the Rings. Ireland's one of the most accessible locations in Europe to observe roseate terns, which gather from July to September after breeding on the nearby Coquet Island. Again, we'll have a lot of memorial seats along this area of the promenade. Some of them are really well decorated. I think there's a few coming up. Certainly well looked after. These are the eroded cliffs that I mentioned when we were passing through the golf course earlier. So I checked for stickmen at the bottom, but there wasn't any. So the sign must have been wrong. Now you'll see here that the numbers of people on the beach are, minimal. So obviously it depends when you come. If you came on the peak time on school holidays or Saturday morning, this site would be far different. It's probably a good point on the walk to talk about the famous people of Whitley Bay. We've got quite a few actually. First of all, we've got Kate Adie here, the BBC News reporter and former chief news correspondent. Sam Fender, the chart-topping singer-songwriter. He attended Whitley Bay High School. We're Andrea Riseborough, the acclaimed actress, known for her roles in Birdman, Oblivion, who grew up and attended the Church High School. Ian LaFreniere, he's the comedy writer, famous for the British sitcoms like The Likely Lads, Whatever Happened to Likely Lads, and Porridge. I think he co-wrote Alvida's End Pet as well. We have Toby Flood, the former professional rugby union player who represented England. Captain W.E. Johns, the author who created the famous Biggles series of books. I didn't know that one. John Gilroy, the artist best known for his iconic and humorous advertising posters for Guinness. And the best one by far, which I think, it's Gladstone Adams. He was an inventor and former mayor of Whitley Bay, and he's best known for inventing the windscreen wiper. That invention which has gone now all over the world, famous because of a man from Whitley Bay. Yeah, he definitely takes the #1 slot. You can see it's quite a walk from Spanish City to St Mary's Lighthouse. It's actually 2.1 miles, so if you take the car along, it's less than 10 minutes, but when you walk it, I would think it'll probably be 40 minutes around that, depending on how quick you walk. But it is quite, it's further than you think. Now we're coming to the end of the walk now, so how can we sum up? I think it's been a nice walk, not the longest, not the shortest, just probably perfect for a Sunday afternoon, something like that. It's certainly worth getting to the lighthouse, and preferably when the tide's out. That was good. And if you want to get to the top of the lighthouse, pay the money and have a good look. So yeah, certainly the people who live in Whitley Bay are lucky ducks. Oh, hang on, that's Whitby, isn't it? Oh no, I've got confused. Whitby and Whitley Bay on. Oh, yeah, I can see why they changed the name. Did you see what I did there? Did you see what I did? And here we are, almost back at the start. So until next time, we'll see you later.